Hello again, and welcome back to Some Climbing News, a show where well, the name is pretty self-explanatory. You get the idea. Let's just start the stupid show. And starting us off today, we got Pietro Vidi in the news, becoming the 8th person to ever climb Magic Line in Yosemite. And look, if you don't know what Magic Line is, get yourself a notebook, jot this down, okay? It was for a very, very long time considered one of, if not the absolute hardest trad route in the entire world. And I'll hold off on telling you the grade for a second because that part shouldn't matter as much as the fact that this thing is like a freaking perfect crack. That you just kind of like lay back all the way to the top while climbing with a raging waterfall behind you. It's an extremely appropriate name. And it was given to it by Ron Kalk, who was the first person to climb it back in 1996. Now I'll tell you the grade. It's 514B or 8C. Already kind of hard enough, until you realize that the whole thing went completely unrepeated for 20 years until Lonnie Kalk, Ron's son, sent back in 2017. And honestly, like, anytime you see a route that looks like this, in a place like this, that's as trafficked as Yosemite is by climbers of all abilities, and see that that thing has been done by literally no one for 20 years, you kind of know that something's up. Like that's not normal. Shit's hard. Also, Lonnie Count turned out to be a giant piece of shit and is facing 8 years in prison for nearly killing his girlfriend. So, you know, there's that. Fuck that guy. Doesn't even deserve me talking about him. Look, since 2017, the route's been repeated 6 times. 4 dudes, 2 women, Hazel Finlay, and Babsy Damn Girl. I mean, Zan Girl. And then, the usual suspects in terms of dudes that climb trad, right? Carl Traversi, Connor Herson, Jacopo Larcher, and now Pietro Vidi becoming the 8th. So, what do we know about this dude's send, aka what do we know about Pietro Vidi's send? Well, pretty simple, really. 4 days seemingly to work out the moves on top rope before he felt comfortable with the gear placements and beta, then 2 following days of trying this thing on lead, taking some pretty heinous falls. I mean, it's trad climbing after all, right? You're venturing out into the world for sure. Huge stuff from Pietro, who is very, very much becoming an enormous name in trad climbing. There's no video of him doing this thing yet, but if anyone's curious, I'm linking 2 things down below. It's Masters of Stone 4, where Ron does the first ascent of this thing, or at least I think it was the first ascent. He might have been repeating it. I'm not entirely sure. As well as a slightly newer Carlo Traversi video. It shows maybe a little bit better how ridiculous this thing actually is. Next, we got more trad stuff on the docket. This time, Jacopo Larcher, who's very much just one of those ultimate trad guys. He's Italian, like Pietro Vidi, which is kind of interesting. I'm not entirely sure just how much trad climbing there is in Italy, or if there really even is a lot of trad climbing history and culture over there. Like, I'll confess my knowledge is more than a little bit limited. It's definitely not like, what you see with like the Brits and the Americans having a huge trad culture. I don't think. But then again, I could be completely fucking wrong, and I'm looking like an absolute freaking idiot. It would not be the first time. Anyways, Jacopo Larcher just sent James Pearson's Bon Voyage, 4th ascent of the world's current hardest trad route by James Pearson, 9A or 514D or E12. Whatever that means. Don't worry about that last one. It's British trad grades, and not even British trad climbers know what the fuck any of it means. They pretend they do. They'll give a whole speech about it. They got no idea. Just forget it even exists. The numbers can't hurt you unless you're James Pearson, in which case, they absolutely can. To anyone that knows, that joke was great. To anyone that doesn't, again, don't worry about it. And if James Pearson is watching, I apologize. Anyways, hardest trad route in the world. Like I said, many of you might know it from that one time Adam Andra decided to kind of sort of try trad climbing for a little bit. Dude kind of took a proverbial piss on the entirety of the trad climbing world, effectively claiming it as his domain when he sent this thing in 3 sessions and confirmed the grade, and then went on to Flash Lexicon, which is only like a grade easier, E11 British trad at least. It'd be plus 514A otherwise. Again, like, no one knows what the fuck British trad grades mean. Just stop thinking about them. Don't worry. Like, point is, 3rd ascent of Bon Voyage was done by the great Seb Berth, who took 8 sessions, and now Jacopo did it in, well, we don't know, because we just don't. Dude said nothing. So, there's that. I guess maybe we'll find out soon enough. Possibly. I'm Ron Burgundy. Yeah, so turns out I'm a complete idiot, and Jacopo actually wrote like a really long, super heartfelt whole thing about his experience on this route, that he put up on his Instagram. It was behind a bunch of photos. He did like a double photo thing where he said just like wrote a lot. So I'm an idiot who completely missed it. This took him like multiple seasons. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. I'm gonna just link in the description is below if you want to get a lot more details. I don't know what happened. My bad. I'm sorry. Back to the video. Whatever. Point is, it's the hardest freaking trad climb in the world. One of the best trad climbers did it. We all should ooh and ah and be very impressed by the whole ordeal. That's about all she wrote. You feeling me? Like, it's cool, right? It's cool. Can we move on now? Let's move on. And then I gotta admit, I haven't really been doing a good job updating you guys on the near constant struggle that's been going on across the United States by climbing workers who have been fighting to unionize, to ratify contracts, and to, you know, be treated like actual human beings. It's something that Movement Climbing, one of the biggest climbing gym chains in the entire world, could not make any more clear. They have zero intentions of making just a tiny bit less money so their employees can, eat and live. If you don't know what I'm talking about, link is up here to a previous video I made that goes over the history of the unionization of climbing gyms. But go check that out. Support your fellow climbing gym workers. They're very much responsible for creating the communities that we know and love. But anyways, not all doom and gloom, it seems. Portland Rock Gym workers were very surprised on December 8th to see that PRG management agreed to recognize Workers United as the union for employees at the gym's Beaverton and Northeast Portland locations, which is pretty cool because this is the first time ever that a gym's management has decided to recognize their employees' unionization without forcing them to seek representation through an election conducted by the National Labor Relations Board, which seems to signal that management at this gym chain is at the very least willing to come to the table and negotiate with their employees to find something that will work for both said employees and the business itself, which is kind of cool given that, every other gym has kind of done the opposite. So basically, we've got 24 gyms unionized under Workers United and 5 other gyms in Minnesota that are unionized under United Food and Commercial Workers, bringing the total of unionized gyms across the country to 29, which, it's pretty cool to see the movement, no pun intended, growing this way. If you're a gym worker that's treated unfairly, is being taken advantage of, all those horrible et ceteras I don't think need mentioning, Climbing Workers United. Those are the people that you should go and talk to. As I said, link to their socials are in the description down below. And then let's talk stuff I missed during my absence these past couple of weeks, particularly Manon Hily, who has probably the most French-sounding name I ever heard. She said Punt X, a 9A/plus or 514D 15A route in Gorge-le-Loup in the south of France. And man, this thing is it's kind of interesting. First of all, if I'm not mistaken, it was originally thought to be 9A, and then several holds broke, and the grade landed in the 9A plus category when it was sent by Jules Marchaland back in 2023, and then repeated by Larcher in 2025, both of whom proposed the same grade. Seems Manon did not necessarily agree with the upgrade and gave the route the dreaded slash grade, which I fucking hate. Why are slash grades a thing? Can we not agree that there are ranges and there's some are gonna be harder and easier than others, and okay, whatever. Fuck slash grades is the point. The other point is that Manon is, one, a badass for doing this thing and then downgrading, and two, Puntex is now, if I'm not mistaken, one of, if not the only route in the world at that grade that has more sends by women than men. Alex Chabot, the dude that got the FA in 2008, first repeated by Muriel Sarkany as a 9A in 2013, the first woman. Then Jules Marchaland in the year 2023 with an upgraded to 9A+. And then finally Laura and Manon. Can't help but wonder when we'll get the first 9A plus 515A. That's only been sent by women. That'd be kind of cool to see, which makes me wonder and makes me actually ask you guys, what do you think? When are we going to get that, or when are we going to see that happen? Soon? Not that soon? Let me know in the comments. Okay, next. Freaking gonna get tired of announcing this shit, but Eva Hammelmuller has once again decided to continue building her fucking pyramid. What? Okay, look, it's awesome. It's really, really awesome that she just sent her fifth 9A on Nomen in 4 sessions. In four sessions is not limit climbing. Okay, can we just maybe can we find something slightly harder and just devote A sessions to it And then boom, you're happy, I'm happy, the climbing world is happy, and I'm kind of being a giant dick trying to tell someone what to do with their life. It's just that I see all this potential and I want to see more. My God, is that what grief feels like? Jesus. I'm gonna stop. Look, Omen Nomen is cool. It has a fantastic name. Super fun to sing. Omen Nomen, Omen Nomen, Omen Nomen. I have I have no idea what it means. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And for the first time in a really long time, I honestly don't give a fuck. Almond Nomen. That's just fun. I don't care if I'm wrong. My wife told me I need to learn to enjoy the little things. So that's what I'm doing. It's great stuff. Sending another hard route. Just gonna throw it out there that I and probably the entire climbing world at this point knows Ava's capable of sending 9A plus. It's just a matter of time for her to just kind of sort of decide she wants to do so. But that whether or not she decides that is none of mine or our business. So I'm just gonna sit here and wait patiently. That's another thing that I need to learn, patience. So gonna be super chill and just gonna sit here and wait. Yeah, now let's move on before I kill myself. Okay, next prodigies. Yeah. No, no, not that. I just risked a whole lot of copyright striking for this dumbest fucking joke. What is wrong with me? God damn. All right. So climbing prodigy Kwon Gaeun. I think I pronounced her name right. Korean is definitely not my strong suit. I don't speak a word of it. So apologies and someone educate me in the comments, please, and thank you. Anywho, this girl is 12 years old. She just said Vella, which might sound familiar to all of you and might sound familiar because it's a 2010 Chris Sharma FA, and more particularly because it's freaking 9A 514D, and it's a sport route. Not only that, but she sent it in 3 sessions and 6 goes. A 12-year-old child has sent 9A in 3 sessions. It's like, uh, why the hell did I not start this sport sooner? God damn it. I feel stupid little me. Anyways, look, I think while a lot of us believe it's super impressive that a kid sent something this hard, there's also a small part of us that kind of likes to dismiss that accomplishment, probably for the sake of our mental health. We kind of tell ourselves stuff like, it's a little kid. She's got small fingers. Our crimps are her jugs. She's small and doesn't weigh anything, whatever, whatever. And to that, I say, do you know how ridiculously bad at being single-minded and goal-oriented kids are? To quote the great Sergeant Lincoln Osiris, you was farting in bathtubs and laughing your ass off. He's talking about Simple Jack there. But to be fair, that's exactly how I was as a kid. Like, yeah, now that I'm freaking 30, it's easy to look back and think, man, had I started when I was 3, I would probably be bouldering B17 by now. But the truth and the reality of the situation is that as a kid, I would probably have been far, far, far more interested in a billion other things than climbing some stupid rock. Like, I mean, fucked if I know. Sticking fingers up my nose, probably. Looking at ants on the ground, making up stories about God knows what. Seeing stupid. I don't know. Point is, Kwon Gaeun is 12, and her being strong enough to send 9A means she has put in a serious dedication to a sport, all while being a kid, which means she's probably all over the damn place most of the time, which makes this accomplishment all the more impressive, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I'm just judging her the way I judge most of the 12-year-olds in my life, which they're insane. They're crazy. They're kids. They're children. It's hysterical. Awesome stuff from her, man. It's awesome. Incredible accomplishment. Next, talking about my people. Spain. Viva España. Joder. One of those undercover crushers, Alex Garriga. In this case, undercover because the dude just had a monster November for which he only wrote a single Instagram post without the usual little green checkies. Because he's making life harder for everyone. I don't know. It's 2025, bro. No one reads paragraphs anymore. Get your shit together. Dude sent no pain, no gain, 9A. Got the first ascent of Borracho Primerito, also 9A. First ascent of Borrachos Negros, 9A plus. Repeated the route Patanix, 9A plus, his 5th of the grade this year. Just this year. He's got a bunch of other ones. I'm not really sure how many though. All in Rodellar, by the way. And then sent an unrepeated Dave Graham boulder called Alibaba con Casim Extension Total, which is 8CB15, to which he was able to add Hulk Extension Total, which is an 8C plus route, which according to Alex leaves the whole thing at about 9A plus slash B or 515A slash B. And this is precisely why I think sport climbing is a piece of shit. Like, no offense to Dani Andrada, who discovered and mostly developed the Alibaba cave, but like, friggin' link ups of link ups of link ups, man. Insanity, dude. Like, what the hell? Just, it's gross. Massively proud of Alex Garriga for what he's done, but like, my God, dude. So the boulder is Alibaba con Casim extension total, and then he added Hulk extension total. So that means this is called fucking, I don't even know. I don't care. It's a long ass name and it's hard. Alex Garriga's route, whatever. Go watch the dude climb. He low key looks like John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and just like how Frusciante makes guitar faces, the dude makes climbing faces. It's both funny and awesome, endearing and great, all at the same time. Go check out his stuff. It's really cool. And then more Spanish stuff. Enrique Beltran Blasco sends his first 298 plus routes like incredibly fucking quickly. Dude sent Gancho Perfecto like 2 weeks ago, more or less, November 24th. And then very quickly followed up with a send of Mejorando Imagen. And look, is there really all that much to say? Not really. Dude's 25 years old. He's looking strong as all hell. He made a quick stop in Alcolea del Pinar, which is a small bouldering area between Madrid and Albarracin. And he sent Street Fighter an 8C/V15 boulder problem in like a session, which, yeah, it seems he wasn't particularly sure about the grade, but he still did it anyways. Dude's looking strong as all hell. Really cool to see. All his stuff is down below, by the way. And then last but not least, the old nemesis, Jules Marchaland, took down Kintsugi, which is an old Naleka. Damn, yeah, you get the point. FA, which was done years and years ago. Probably one of the coolest boulders in the world, I'd say. Like, yeah, definitely. It was originally thought to be 8C/V15, but has since been downgraded to V14. And yeah, again, not much else to add other than to say that Jules Marchaland is looking super good on Shaolin. Not entirely sure how much longer he has left in Vegas, but as much as I unofficially hate the guy and don't actually hate him at all officially, wait, as much as I officially hate the guy, but unofficially don't hate him at all, I really want to see him do this climb. Like, he seems tailor-made for Shaolin. I'm excited to see if he actually manages to do it in the time that he has. Probably is going to do it last go of the trip, miraculously. But hey, that was some climbing news. Thanks again for watching. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so. I will see you guys on Friday at the latest. But in the meantime, and as always, climb some stuff.